some more reserved and safe for work, some at the other side of the spectrum.
I'm pretty sure they're all on the same spectrum.
People wanted him to take full accountability for this, with not just a pinned comment, not just a small segment on his podcast, and not just a private DM.
It's interesting that he had to get a significant amount of blowback from his audience before he would decide to apologize for a bad thing he did. It's almost like he doesn't care whether he's right or wrong. He only cares what his audience thinks is right and wrong.
This was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation.
If only we got that for all the political content that he's pumping out. Now, I know you're all very excited here. Very excited to do a beautiful Nux Taku segment in the chat. And so I'm going to give it to you. Recommend it to me in the Discord. It's from Royalties here. Pretty sure we've seen him before. Pretty good content creator. It's called The Most Hated VTuber. It's about our favorite political Lolicon analysis. Our favorite VTuber, political VTuber analysis guy. It's incredible. And let's just get it going.
So I've become somewhat of a scholar in VTubers as of recently. Don't worry, it was completely involuntary. I wouldn't condone the knowledge I've absorbed being put on anyone else.
Quick question. Are all these girl characters actually boys? I know this one is a boy. They're probably all boys. All of them are boys. They're all boys. All boys with a girl PFP character that they paid thousands of dollars to animate. And also probably, this is just an assumption, paid somebody to animate them sexually as well.
Since their first conception in 2016 and later popularity in 2019 to 2020, which has carried it all the way to the present day, where like endless mitosis, they've reproduced to the point where they are everywhere. There's a
Lego Star Wars
VTuber for every animal almost. I'm still waiting on a water bear VTuber though, or one that is inspired by a slot machine.
Isn't a water bear like a parasite or something, or a bacteria or something?
That has a gambling addiction. I feel like I'd resonate with them very well. But due to its popularity, there are a range of VTubing personalities. Some more reserved and safe for work, some at the other side of the spectrum, and then some you'd think were on a...
I'm pretty sure they're all on the same spectrum here. Just to be clear. Just to be clear.
Different type of spectrum, with whatever the
Yeah, 90% of them are like 30-year-old plus men. Yes, that's what it seems to be.
This is.
I'm hungry! Treat! I'll do a backflip for a treat! I'll do a backflip for a treat!
My question is, here. Why aren't conservatives more outraged by this? You have Nux Taku, who's part of your community. No, not a word. But, oh, a trans person exists? We got to go after them. Are you fucking kidding me? Look at this. Are you kidding me here? Are you kidding me here? What the fuck is this? This is much worse than any trans person taking a piss in the bathroom. Okay. Crazy. It's ridiculous. And you want to know why? Because it's not bad to be a trans person pissing in a bathroom, dude. Where else are they supposed to piss? In my pants?
They make...
See? That actually, now you're probably like, oh, Papa got him 50-50 on you. Are you serious with that? That did not enrage you. Then you have a mental problem, okay?
Content, they stream, some have their own lore better than any of the latest Marvel movies.
At least that one has big tits, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing for the VTubers to, like, make themselves have big tits. These VTuber, most likely guys, have big tits. It's another thing when these VTubers make themselves little 7-year-old girls. That shit's fucking very weird. Those people are freaks.
They have their own meet and greets at events.
There's absolutely no way this is real. What the fuck?
They even have their own concerts which sell a lot of tickets.
What?
The internet...
What?
...is infatuated with VTubers, and VTubing is accessible to anyone.
Why?
You can fork out the money for a VTubing model with multiple
Dude, what the fuck is this?
toggles and features, like a tit slider and jiggle physics,
There's
which
no
is essentially like jingling keys for the absolute gooners of the VTuber audience. However, VTubing has become slightly oversaturated over the years, and it is hard to differentiate yourself from the sheer amount of VTubers that there is. But apart from that, VTubing comes with a lot of benefits over their fleshy counterparts, like being able to say the most abhorrent and viscous statements with complete anonymity.
Where's your fucking art degree, buddy? Where's your fucking art degree? Oh, you have one? Okay, Hitler.
Hitler did not have an art degree. That joke's not only are you a VTuber, but you're not even funny. Hitler didn't have an art degree. That's why one of the reasons why he did that horrible thing he did. And that's the exact reason why we let every single person go and take art classes and have an art degree. That's why these people are swimming in debt, because we'd rather have them swimming in debt than reject them from art school. Because, you know what I'm saying, dude. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be swimming in ashes. Okay? So, just saying. No, he didn't have an art degree. You guys said Hitler did have one. He did not. You're a liar. Shut up. Art saves lives.
Probably due to the sheer popularity and
That was a dab.
benefits of being a VTuber, you can now find many other
Dude, come on! Sorry.
content creators adopting their own VTuber personality.
Is that Justin Bieber as a VTuber?
But with the vast amount of people partaking in such format, with a variety of personalities and opinions, it's only natural that some VTubers would be favoured over others, and some just outright hated. This brings me to the topic
I will say I do like the depressed aesthetic. It's not bad.
of today's video. One of the most hated VTubers that recently can't seem to catch a break, someone that had the complete opposite reputation only a few years ago, and someone I've spoken about before but never really in depth, Nux Taku. Yasina's Gunpei has recently removed herself from the internet due to people finding out that she wasn't in fact single and dating all her audience.
That's it? She was dating people, so they canceled her?
Which was a new level of parasocial degeneracy. She even invited them to send dick pics as part of the girlfriend experience.
Can we send you intimate photos of ourselves? Whatever, dude. I guess catch your bag for these fucking losers.
But she's gone now, and probably has a solid terabyte of uncut penis on her hard drive, and that one other VTuber really doesn't count in this category, because most people still don't know they exist, which is partially a good thing. So
Are you giving them a shout out, dude?
the title now falls on Nux, as in recent years he's been regarded to be one of the most hated VTubers, and still to this day get
Not hated enough.
shit like a public outhouse more than any other VTuber. But who is Nux Taku? How did he become so
He's a weird right-wing grifter. That's what he is. He's a loser.
hated, and does he deserve it?
I'm just incredibly famous on
Yes, he does.
the internet. So people decide to try to cancel me on Twitter for some reason because they're jealous of my incredible success.
So for one of the most hated
I fucking hate his voice so much.
VTubers, you'd have probably expected this man to have spawned straight from the spread cheeks of Nurgle, with malice and hate as his prerogative,
Oh, Warhammer reference.
which isn't that far from the truth. Nux originally started posting on the internet in 2015 with
Wow.
anime-based videos which I cannot relate to in any way. Anybody that has ever made such content should be lined up and shot with hollow point 7.62 rounds, but I digress.
I will say, because it said 7 Deadly Sins. 7 Deadly Sins is not good at anime. It's boring. It's overly convoluted. There's one good character. It's not the main character. And they basically, it's just bad. It sucks. The only good character is the Lion Sin of Pride, so.
Nux had made his start on the internet making primarily anime-targeted content, which people actually loved. A major critique against Nux from previous fans seems to be that they enjoyed it when he just made anime-themed content rather than the content he would later shift to. But we'll talk about that later. But
Well, didn't he like obsessively harass that Jaiden person?
in the current time frame, the gravy train was not ending for Nux. He collaborated with many content creators doing the same niche he was, that at the time held a lot of influence on the platform, and he even eventually reached over 1 million subscribers by 2019, just by once again doing anime content, and conveniently around the same time, by his own words, somehow got cancelled for the first time
Oh yeah, how was the first one?
in the year of 2020, which was one of the first of many to come, and honestly, to Nux's credit, he has withstood a lot of them. You cannot take it away from him. Dude
Escanor, yeah.
has tanked controversies even though sometimes it's down to his own actions. But his first cancellation, in his own words, was due to
In his own words, I'm assuming it wasn't that big of a deal then.
comments he made towards animes and anime characters. Yeah, we must have been very bored in 2020. And one of the comments
Well, in 2020 COVID, that was the start of COVID. Everybody was home, everybody was outraged, so I wouldn't doubt it.
that put him under scrutiny was when he referred to male anime characters that presented themselves as feminine under the title of traps, which I discovered recently has become a slur. Thank you for the 2020
Yeah, apparently it is. Back then, it was just something you looked up on Pornhub, so, wait. The Hub. I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
slur patch notes 5 years later, and to be honest, I haven't heard anyone use the word trap in a while. The second
Yeah,
thing he
it's kind of boring.
was accused of was being racist, because he pronounced Full Metal Alchemist like this. And the third thing was that he was sexist for talking about anime female characters in a negative way. But sorry to say,
Well, I feel like from my understanding, they didn't really let her character develop very well. So.
Yep, Sakura is a fucking useless character. I had to say it.
Well, yeah, that's what I've heard, but that's like the problem, isn't it? That they probably could have written her to not be an obnoxious, useless bitch. So.
She would have been more useful as a shuriken shield than anything else in the story, but out of all the controversies that Nux would later have, this one was by far the least impactful on his online reputation. But Nux's response to these allegations and critiques gives you a good example on Nux's online persona, which has persisted even to this present day. He kind of just told them to go f*** themselves, and he clowned on the people hating on him. And clarified,
cool guy.
He wasn't in the wrong because the majority of the time he was just talking about anime characters.
I don't think I did anything that warrants an apology, and therefore I, Lord D. Nuxanor, will not be apologized.
This is the persona a lot of people revered him for. He was someone that had relatively no filter and was certainly unapologetic for it.
He's basically a pretty cool guy. No filter except for the, anime PFP that filters his actual face. That's the only one. And weird accent, that's fake. A weird anime accent.
He was loud, energetic, satirical, and in his own words, he just loved the chaos and just flexing on the haters. That is also a term I haven't heard for a while. People love this
You know what's crazy?
about the chaos and just flexing on the haters. That is also a term I haven't...
This guy's trans now. This Vine kid is trans. This is them now. This is them. This is them back then, and this is them now. They're a trans person. They also, I guess, maybe they sucked their thumb. It looks like they...
People love...
Looks like they have like the teeth. That's not a criticism, but now you guys, there you guys go. Wasn't kidding. So there's some internet lore for you. And you like that. By the way, I'm not judging. They look very nice. Okay.
This about him, it was somewhat of a breath of fresh air for that time, which to many's horror, someone with the same characteristics and significantly less apologetic was about to become popular around the same time. But all of what I've just mentioned was
a black guy.
Before he even became a VTuber. He actually only debuted as a VTuber in 2021, which mentioned before was around the boom of VTubing. Before his debut, he was like a 2D VTuber of sorts, using his character that looked like a black tar heroin version of Sans from Undertale. But he was never considered a VTuber till that day of...
What's the other one, a PNG tuber? Oh my god.
Early 2021. And compared to other VTubing models, it did get its fair share of criticism. It didn't track very well. Sometimes his lips didn't collaborate very well with what he was saying. People once again thought he was just a Sans Undertale clone. And where were the big boobers
Incredible.
and tit sliders? Disgraceful. But many of his fans actually loved it. It collaborated very well with his online personality and content. But after this, he did start to stray away from his anime-themed content, with VTuber-related videos and general trends at the time. Like, I gave X amount to a starving Serbian child, and he even threw a few songs in there as well. But with his new type of content, he started to receive a lot more attention. Even with the disagreement from his older fans, he managed to reach 2 million subscribers, and even collaborated with the top echelons of YouTube, like Some Ordinary Gamers, Moist Critical, Umperville, and Lost Paws, who I feel like I haven't seen.
Yeah, those are all the guys that, at least, I think, Umperville and Mutahar, where he would show them Lolicon porn, and then they would rate it. Isn't that incredible? What a time to exist.
In a while, and obviously other VTubers like Bao and Iron Mouse. He even started a podcast in 2021 with Umperville and Mutahar, just talking about things that happened on the internet. And even though his older fans criticised him, his content had changed drastically, and he wasn't everybody's cup of tea. All of this was outweighed by the support and positivity for him.
Is this him actually on Anthony Padilla's podcast?
However, due to a number of controversies regarding his own actions, the tide of positivity quickly turned against him. And in the current day, he doesn't collaborate with many YouTubers like he used to.
Yeah, it's because he's a fucking conservative cum guzzler, a MAGA cum guzzler now.
His content has mainly evolved into just slop reaction content. Oh, sorry, wrong channel.
Ooh, got him!
And on his second channel, he's dived into politics, which has also landed him in hot water. And many of the people that were once close to him have seemingly distanced themselves from him.
Yeah, I would too.
Many address him now with either infamousy or just outright hate, which is very polarizing when compared to his previous years on the platform. But what are these controversies, and does he deserve a reputation that is essentially on the same level as a urinal cake marinated in piss?
Yeah, and also it's kind of implied that he's going to be marinated in piss if it's a urinal cake.
Point I'm trying to make here is, for some reason, I became the goddamn enemy numero uno.
Now, probably one of the first major and most confusing controversies Nux faced was in 2021 with VShojo. Conveniently not long after he debuted, VShojo is a VTubing agency with many of the juggernauts of the VTubing scene under
VTubing agency? Okay.
their belt, like Iron Mouse, Project Melody, Zentreya, Fruit, and many more being added to this day.
Are these all boys? Is Iron Mouse a boy? Looks like it's a girl, guys. Don't worry.
However, even before the events occurred, Nux and the talent of VShojo were on good terms. They created content together, interacted in the cesspool that is Twitter, and just all around seemed to have a good relationship. However, in 2021, somebody was targeting VShojo, and were pretending to be VShojo in order to gather VTubers' personal information to harass, dox, and even swat them. Some of the—
That's terrible. No one should ever do that. But if they did, thank God it's VTuber. No, I'm just kidding. You should never do that. That's terrible.
emails appeared like they were coming from VShojo recruitment, and one specifically was sent to an indie VTuber, where they essentially thought their dreams were coming true, and they were asked to join VShojo, but first they would have to put all their information in which the police then showed up to their house because they had just been swatted. Nux had received these same—
Damn. This person's a VTuber e-thought. Did they really think that they were going to get a shot here? Damn.
email, but he knew it wasn't VShojo. He got in contact with the VShojo management team and cybersecurity team to tell them what was happening and that potentially more VTubers are going to fall victim
Does this guy work for you?
to this, but VShojo was already aware this was happening and were doing their own investigation. Nux began his own investigation by providing the wrong information to the email so they would contact him, and at one point they even flexed they had his information in a Discord server for some reason,
Oh shit. The next level play from Nux Taku.
which was provided to Nux by one of his apparent fans.
There's sources of info that I got, which are kind of hilarious. This dude was flexing that he got my real name and phone number, which he didn't, and he was posting it in his Discord servers, and one of the people in the Discord server that he was posting it was a fan of mine.
Nux was working on a full video covering this topic and spreading awareness about it. The VShojo's cybersecurity team and management knew about this video being made and were communicating directly with Nux about the video
Whoa, big guy.
through things like Discord, and he even
And he just threw that all away, huh?
showed them the video before it was released. This also involved the video through things like Discord, and he even showed them the video before it was released.
Nice. You think you're willing to blur out the word blank from the screenshot for the purposes of denying them notary? Okay, cool.
This also involved one of the VShojo talents that was never named.
Someone is out there impersonating VShojo, the massive VTuber group. They tried to steal my info, dox me, and swat me, and they've successfully done this to many, many other VTubers. This is not—
Now, to Nux's credit, the video promptly spread awareness about the situation, essentially saving more indie VTubers that would
Why is there a re-upload? Did he take this down?
want to join VShojo, and just spreading awareness about general cybersecurity etiquette. Yes, if you received an email from Jerkman saying you're the top 1% of Jerkers, and they want to deliver your own personal golden encrusted fleshlight, they just need you to fill out all your personal information.
I got this message, and it is true. I have the golden fleshlight.
They were probably lying to you, but you'd think people would rejoice at such
Not me. No one lies to me.
a positive thing Nux had done. Yes, people did initially praise him for this video.
How could he get this one? How could this one get fucked up?
VShojo also thanked him, and one of the perpetrators allegedly had their information turned over to the police, but the positive acclamations for Nux quickly turned, and
Ow.
many of the VShojo VTubers publicly criticised Nux for making a video on the topic with allegations levied against him of being a clout chaser and potentially putting them in danger.
What? I'm so disappointed in you and hurt that you were doing this when you full well knew what was really going on. We asked you to take it down. We told you we feared for our safety. What? When multiple people tell you not to upload something in concern of their safety, you don't. Asking for you to take it down because I felt my safety was in trouble, and for you to go to the company and ask for numerous terms and conditions in return. That's not friendship. What the fuck are these people talking about?
With the fact that many of the VShojo team had apparently told him not to make the video, but he did so anyway.
Who gives a fuck? Didn't the literal CEO work with him on it? Who cares?
And many of them just wanted the video removed, in which it was 3 days later.
Why? Fuck that.
Now, it's important to note that within the video, none of the VShojo members were mentioned directly. The only other VTuber mentioned in the video was Saki, who was the victim that got swatted,
What?
and in fact responded positively to the video being made.
I don't understand what's happening here.
So the only way this would put VShojo talent in danger would be inspiring other people to do the same. But VShojo knew about it. Even one of the members was in the Discord with the cybersecurity team and Nux. And once again, they thanked him and even provided an official statement at the end of the video. But it appears the VShojo talent were not informed about this at all, hence why a lot of them were denouncing Nux's video. And to
Who gives it? These people are weirdos.
make things worse, VShojo management deleted their thank you to Nux, and then went with the narrative that they always told him never to make the video.
Damn. Wow. This almost makes sense as to why he's such a conspiracy theorist, because he actually had fucking gotten dumpstered here. This is actually insane. For the first time in my life, I've actually felt bad for Nux Taku. That's interesting.
And everyone proceeded to pile on Nux. Now if you've been stunlocked, it's no surprise all of this is very confusing, but to break this down for you like SpaghettiOs, this is basically a tale of poor communication, where the VShojo members were not told beforehand about this, except
This isn't really a tale of poor communication at all. This is a tale of the actual CEOs being fucking cowards.
for the one VShojo member that was in the group apparently. The VShojo team thought they communicated directly to Nux that they didn't want this video to be made, with only 2 instances, one before he even started the video, and 2 when they were actively
Wait, what?
didn't want
Give Nux approval to release the video. Reality, we never had permission. What?
this video to be made, with only 2 instances, one
Hey Nux, I was able to get in touch with Saki and get the header information we needed from the email, though, through her, so don't worry about pulling it from yours anymore. Thanks, though, for the help. A few things in my security team want to communicate, though. They wanted to make you aware that this individual person in VShojo is driven by attention and are afraid your tweets and potential content you make. Shining a larger light on this would further encourage them to target you, VTubers. Okay, this is particularly important as the person has not been arrested yet, and we are trying to assist police, and we are afraid of interfering with the police investigation. Just want to let you make sure this was passed along. Let me know if you have any questions, though. Thank you for passing it along. I didn't want to give out any details for this reason, but I didn't want any other VTubers falling prey to this, which is why I left it vague. I feel like this is totally normal for them to... I mean, seems like it's a good video to be made.
one before he even started the video, and 2 when they were actively helping him with the video, where they didn't tell him directly to not make the
I
video.
understand what you mean. I'm specifically referring to that point in the past where we were working with the incident but not taking about it publicly, because for the US to say something, for us to say something, it would have been bad and would have generated more harassment. I'm not saying this is any criticism. What?
And even thanked him for it, but when the VShojo
It's more poor communication with the VShojo talents. VShojo talent. I just feel like this whole thing is stupid. He exposed this person, for taking advantage of smaller VTubers. Who cares?
talent had problems with it, they then withdrew their thanks, and once again reinstated their stance they never wanted him to make this video, despite once again being informed and having some part in it. They also
Yeah, I mean, they gave him feedback on redacting a credit from somebody in the video.
expressed concerns about the one person he called a fan, who was the one that told him they were leaking the fake information, that they were a part of the attack and could be feeding him misinformation. That is the bare bones of what happened, and Nux was facing a mountain of backlash for it, even though his heart was in the right place and he did inform the group. I just wanted to bring light to this situation to prevent any further victims. He kind of just got thrown under the bus due to an apparent miscommunication with him and the cybersecurity and management team
Robert said we believe these were strong warnings and we could have been clear.
of VShojo, but when the dust settled, Nux just wanted to move on, and all parties apologised, including the VShojo VTubers, but for his first major
This person just said moving forward.
wanted to move on, and all parties
This doesn't seem like oh, maybe they have the apology there. They apologize. This whole thing is like an idiot mess.
apologised, including the VShojo VTubers, but for his first major controversy, he received a lot of backlash for this, even though, once again, his heart was in the right place. And the real problem was the people doxing and swatting people. But the next one is something I've spoken about before, so I'll give you the cliff notes, but it's one that Nux regards as his biggest mistake, and one that took around 2 years to somewhat conclude.
And I made a huge up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation.
A fellow VTuber
Wow, if only we got that for all the political content that he's pumping out, where he's wrong about literally everything, we'd be in a good spot.
by the name of Taiga had a document created about them alleging they were a predator. The document was produced by individuals that were previous mods and stalkers of Taiga, and in 2022, Nux made a video with Moist Critical going over VTuber drama. Moist didn't know about a lot of these VTubers or dramas, and the video was essentially Nux giving a tour through the many controversies of the VTuber community and
I saw.
or dramas, and the video was essentially
Dr. Disrespect, incredible.
Nux giving a tour through the many controversies of the VTuber community and explaining them. However, he does eventually get to Taiga and says he doesn't know much about the situation, but then continues to convey the message they were a predator. And with someone like Moist Critical in the video, a lot of people saw it.
Left to
2004.
money.
Is this Hololive?
No, Taiga is an indie streamer who, I don't know the whole story, but Taiga was outed to be a
Now, Taiga was exonerated from these claims.
It's a little bit of a... It's a strong... that's a pretty strong allegation, bud. You gotta get your T's crossed and your I's dotted on that one before you say something like that.
A few months later, and Nux did pin a comment regarding the Taiga situation under
Pin a comment? You think pinning a comment is enough after making a fucking insane allegation?
the video, and he even removed that part in the video. He also
Oh, that's good. Okay.
apologized privately to Taiga for this, but many thought the damage was already done. 6 months later, Nux brings up the situation on his podcast, once again saying he messed up.
Mama Max keeps making things worse. Oh, shit. This is once they flipped on Mama Max after they realized he wasn't palatable anymore. Mama Max was always a fucking weirdo. But
And he was going off the information what other people told him, and that once again he had privately apologized for this.
And like I alleged it also because a friend told me, and I regret it because he I don't know if it's true. He ended up coming back with some sort of response. I don't know, this guy Bungo Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that I even alleged something like that, and like because a friend told me.
Now you would think this is where it would end.
well, you didn't allege something like that. You strongly stated something like that, right? Like you would have said, allegedly he did this. You said like he did this. That's what from what I saw. But
Nux somewhat apologized and learned his lesson that, you should verify information before voicing it.
whoa, did he learn that lesson? That's crazy because I just don't think that that's true. Since all he does is pump out shit political slop now. Okay,
Especially when it's a serious allegation,
no, he doesn't. He pumps out legitimate slop.
which he did do again around the same time against another YouTuber and
This one,
VTuber when it's a serious allegation, which he did do again around the
this I wouldn't doubt this. I wouldn't doubt it.
same time against another YouTuber and VTuber called Rev, where they got into a whole kerfuffle and made a video, which was removed recently, with a weird comment from Nux where if he was to do a video on Rev, with his influence and podcast, YouTube would probably take his channel down.
Well, now they're both like right wing fucking grifters. So
I make a video roasting this dude on my main channel, YouTube will literally deplatform him. Like, YouTube actually watches my stuff, especially ever since I've been on the Some Ordinary podcast. YouTube has really been paying attention to like what we've been saying, and I'll be honest, if I would make a video on him on the main channel, I do think he'd get taken down for either bullying or the whole weird pedo stuff.
But a few months later, he would claim YouTube are actively suppressing him, which just contradicts his past claim, but
what a fucking victim.
he did apologize for this around 2 years later.
Okay, so if you thought that this guy was like really bad, why didn't you make the video about them?
And some of the stuff that I said in my old stream that I foolishly uploaded on Nuxanor. And yeah, I was definitely out of pocket when I talked about Rev like 2-3 years ago, whenever the fuck that was.
Yeah, what is this, like recently now? This is now that they're both like fucking guzzling manga cum? Oh, I wonder why he pulled it back. Incredible.
With the Taiga situation, it wasn't done yet, as Taiga thought it wasn't a good apology, because Nux claimed privately they would publicly clear the slate regarding Taiga, possibly with another video with Moist Critical, but the
Well, I doubt Moist Critical would want to associate himself with this fucking weird guy.
video or cleaning of the public slate never came.
This guy Bungo Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that
Well, he should still apologize more publicly, I guess. But I doubt Moist Critical wants to attach himself to that.
Let me be clear. Let me check exactly what he said. If I do a sequel with Charlie, I was planning on it.
Bungo Taiga's a girl? Actually surprised about that, to be honest with you.
I'll try to clear the record more publicly. I'll also do more research. Again, I don't know right now, however, I'll try to rectify any extra damage I caused and hope you can accept my apology. This was in December 22nd, 2022. 2022.
Damn.
He said he was going to make a sequel video with Moist Critical. Video never came.
Now moving to 2024, Nux was still
Okay.
getting backlash for this mistake. People wanted him to take full accountability for this, with not just a pinned comment, not just a small segment on his podcast, and not just a private DM. And in 2024, he did apologise, saying it was the biggest fuck-up of his career, in a video where he goes over the unjust banning of VTubers on YouTube, and
It's interesting that he had to get a significant amount of blowback from his audience before he would decide to apologize for a bad thing he did. It's almost like he doesn't care whether he's right or wrong. He only cares what his audience thinks is right and wrong. Wow, I wonder if this will play out as time goes on in this video.
mentions Taiga, who was also banned on the platform. He does apologise for the situation, but adds he wasn't to blame for Taiga's deplatforming.
Taiga's a dude? That sounded like a girl. What the fuck? Do they have like a voice changer? Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I made a huge fuck up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation and for causing any undue hate to be sent Taiga's way. I am sorry for how I handled that. I'm sorry for how I said it. I have tried to do better since then, and I will continue to try to do better in the future.
Lie.
Now, he apologised again, it should all go away now, right? Not really. Many viewed his apology
Well, it took him 2 fucking years, no? Or a year and a half?
as disingenuous, due to the fact he made comments around the same time, previously contradicting the private apology, comments on the podcast, and pinned comment. So a lot of people thought all of his apologies he had made were just disingenuous anyway.
Bro!
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, right. I thought you cared about, stood up for small creators. I do. Especially when the small creators don't have sussy interactions in regards to minors.
And still to this day, this situation is levied against him. Now, Nux, contrary to popular belief, wasn't to blame directly for Taiga's deplatforming, but he was to blame for the spread of allegations at the time, and how
Wait, why did they get removed, though? I'm confused about that.
he dealt with the situation, often apologizing
Taiga was supposedly a creep on Discord. There seems to be like there seems to be a deep amount of lore for this Tiger guy that I don't have any interest in.
then going back on his word, then apologizing again. he all around did not deal with the situation very well, and it did have an effect on his reputation. Something the next controversy, only a month later, would also do, and would receive 10 times more attention than any of his past controversies with the most lukewarm scenario. And
it's so interesting. Every time I post like a video criticizing Nux's political takes, people are like, isn't this the guy who harassed Jaiden Animations or something to that effect? And I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? And I guess we're going to learn what that is right now.
that is the Jaiden Animations situation. Now, most people know who Jaiden Animations is.
Kind of, sure.
She makes animated videos, mainly storytime videos, and even herself later became a VTuber.
Alright, cancel him right now. You're done!
But this whole controversy boils down to Nux that just changed his type of content to mainly just reaction-based content, which many popular content creators do, like Asmongold and Pyrocynical, the Mounting Ugly. And overall, what?
And Papa God. Wow, I've got to mention, that's fucking crazy.
But people had a problem with Nux due to the fact he started reacting to Jaiden, and he would take the title or situation and involve himself in it.
I found out I have ADHD. Jaiden Animations and I found out we have ADHD. Wow, that's incredible. I have an ADHD TV. I was also diagnosed and used to take medication, which caused me to be very antisocial when I was young. And then when I came off of it, I got a burst of energy, and people started to be very confused about that. And now here we are, man. I just found out me and Nux Taku and Jaiden Animations have ADHD, and two of us are gay. I don't know. Last week, it's a working title. It's a title in progress. Give me a break.
With a title like Me and Jaiden had a good 10 years on YouTube, or Jaiden Animations talks
Goodbye. Jaiden and I had a great 10 years on YouTube. Jaiden Animations teaches me about dating. What the fuck?
to me about dating, or me and Jaiden forgot to file our taxes and the IRS found us, stuff like that.
Incredible.
We? Who's we? There is no we.
It made it look like they were doing a
Me after I can't piss anymore.
collab of sorts, even though I don't think there's any recorded event of them interacting. But people were not happy with this, and a whole bunch of hate was sent
Jaiden, I'm pregnant. Nux, you mean we?
to Nux, especially with the perceived reputation he already had. Someone made a fake response from Jaiden, which many believed,
That's funny.
essentially telling him to fuck off. Someone made a Google Chrome extension, which adds him to every YouTube video, and
Okay.
someone ratioed Mr. Beast with a meme, and he took credit for it.
Well, I
People
want to see
made
that
him
title.
to
then.
every YouTube video, and someone ratioed Mr. Beast with a meme, and he
Goodbye, Jaiden, and I had a great 10 years. What the fuck?
took credit for it. People made a Teen Titans Go reference with it, which was "and Bumblebee," which he assumed meant
Okay.
and it was just kids making fun of him.
I'm getting canceled by Teen Titans Go children. I'm being canceled by toddlers. It's amazing.
Even
His whole channel is toddlers, no?
though Teen Titans Go, yes, it is a bad sequel to Teen Titans, but it is pretty old now, and I think it aired quite a while ago when I was a toddler. But people that did
You know, I heard, I used to watch the regular Teen Titans. It was pretty good. Teen Titans Go, never watched it, but I heard it wasn't that bad. I heard it gets a lot of hate, but it's just a different story, you know? So,
didn't know who Nux was before this, just thought he was the Jaiden Animations guy now, which I don't know if it's good PR or bad PR. But to be honest, he was just doing what every other React channel does, albeit changing the title
well, let's just be clear, okay? And I want to be very clear about this,
slightly. Bad PR. But to be honest,
this goblin here, okay? There are different types of React channels out there. Asmongold is one of the worst, okay? Asmongold, Nux Taku, they are the worst. You know, we could have a conversation about what is and isn't appropriate. But I think for a lot of React content creators, at least I like to think so, they'll usually engage with something that's more conversational, first and foremost, rather than something that's entertaining. I like to separate those two. Like an entertainment reaction is just kind of something that like exists. It's almost like a TV show, but it's a YouTube video. And then there's conversational reactions, which tend to be more social and political and stuff like that. They engage with both of them, and they pretty much, especially when it comes to like the politics stuff, they just say, yeah, that's true. They'll watch something right-leaning with tons of misinformation, and they'll go, oh, that's true, that's true, that's true, that's true. That's all they do. They don't do anything meaningful. They don't do anything intelligent. They just push disinformation because their audience accepts it and they're comfortable with it and they're okay with it. They don't actually sit down and go like, oh, that's an interesting claim. Let me go see that. This is probably important. We're talking about politics and different people in different communities. They don't do that. So everybody's like, oh no, they're fine. They're not. You guys are actually stupid fucks. Just to be clear, you're a fucking moron if you think that Nux is fine. I've watched multiple of his videos. They are full of pathetic idiot fuck disinformation. And if you think that it's fine and you watch their content, you're probably really fucking stupid. Just to be clear. So you wouldn't be comfortable in this stream or watching my content because Nux is an actual fucking moron right-wing grifter. So just to be clear. And I want to be additionally clear, you're wrong objectively. This isn't an opinion. This is a fact that you're stupid. Okay, I just want you to be aware of that. I just need you to know how fucking stupid you are. Just to be absolutely clear. You can go find videos that I've covered of them. They're incredibly fucking dumb.
To be honest, he was just doing what every other React channel does, albeit changing the title slightly. I don't know why he chose
Although when it comes to reacting to Jaiden, who really gives a fuck socially?
Jaiden. He wasn't framing any other titles like this, and he had already been doing it as far back as 2 years ago. But it was just reaction videos, which many people watch, so they don't feel alone watching YouTube in their dark, dingy basement. But anyway, now the last controversy, yes, we're almost there. I know I've taken up a majority of your time, but let's be honest, that time playing War Thunder or Dead by Daylight wouldn't
I've got nothing better to do.
have been time well spent, now would it? So shut up. But the last one, and probably the most impactful, was
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck is this?
basically surrounding Lolly. Now the topic of Lolly has been debated for years now, especially within the anime community.
Seems like something we don't need to debate. Seems like it's not good.
On one side, you have people that argue Lolly characters in anime or VTubing is only an aesthetic thing focused on characters that are small or have a specific body type.
It's usually referencing porn. Gross porn. But okay.
Key example used by this side is Rebecca from Cyberpunk, which was a whole different controversy back then, but she did get absolutely balled on in the anime. And on the other side, people say they are depictions of children, and if you sexualize them, you are a predator.
Maybe. But I could have sworn Nux was having his friends react to Lolicon. What are you talking about?
For the example, some anime characters seen in that light are underage. But how does this relate to Nux?
I mean, you could have a child character in a show. That's fine. It just becomes gross when you start jerking off to it.
Well, Nux was heavily against Lolly publicly.
Am I going to title the video, We're the Worst VTubers? Yeah, Jaiden Animations, me, and Nux Taku are the worst VTubers. I'm honestly probably just going to call it like Nux Taku, the most hated VTuber. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm just going to steal the title, dude. It's a fucking absolute alpha Chad.
Saying along the lines, if you like Lolly or sexualize it, you are a predator. However, many took a look back at Nux's history with some of the
I don't know about a predator, but you're certainly a weird freak.
content and thumbnails, some of which have been deleted and changed over the years. Many cited he had straight up involved Lolly sexually in his thumbnails or suggested such themes in
He clickbaited it, yeah.
his
He CB'd that CP. It's not quite child porn, but it's, one step down, I guess.
content. Even at one point, he had a series where he would straight up show anime porn to other influencers to get their reaction.
He has the same facial expression as Tom, bro. Whoever made this needs to be in jail.
What
Damn, dude, Willie Mack was jorking his fucking dick with Nux. That's crazy.
are we doing back then in those days of content? Jesus. He even showed hentai that was considered Lolly to his fellow co-host, Mutahar.
This is a hentai? First rule, hug your little sister every day. Okay, it's fine. Okay, it's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh.
But he was mainly being called out
Well, you know what they say, hugging your sister is just like shaking your wiener after a piss. After 3 shakes, after 3 seconds, it's inappropriate, okay?
for being a hypocrite due to the thumbnails and the videos. But what made things
Yeah, if you like Lolicon, you're closer to a pedophile than somebody who doesn't like it. Just to be clear. Is that a hot take, guys?
significantly worse at the time was the Ava Chris Tyson allegations, where Ava was a supporter of Shadman, an infamous character online
Yeah, they seem to support the meme a little too much.
that drew NSFWR, and more notably drew NSFWR of Keemstar's daughter at the time, who was underage,
Terrible stuff.
which everyone viewed as fucking disgusting. But after the whole Ava
No kidding, huh?
Chris Tyson story, a post was made showing all the creators that associate with or endorse Shadman.
Oh, gotta give Ricky the pass because God didn't, so you know what I'm saying?
And Nux was listed, where he previously included Shadman's art in his thumbnails, which he did change a few days after the video was released.
What the fuck is this? Oh my god.
A few years ago.
Remember the video that I talked about that had a Shadman art in the thumbnail and I
This is fucking crazy. This thumbnail is actually crazy since this was made by a guy. This is supposed to be, I imagine, a sexualized version of one of the children from Game of Thrones. This is almost as bad as how they ruined the show with the last season, to the point where I would support a GoFundMe that would redo the show with the same actors. I do not care that they look older now. The last season was so fucking bad. Please. Okay. Please, for the love of God, redo the last season of Game of Thrones. Maybe the last 2. Maybe make a few movies. Maybe make the new show. I don't know. But it's so fucking bad. The ending of Game of Thrones was so bad that I cannot watch the show anymore because it starts so well and then it sucks so much penis at the end. It's not worth. It's not worth it. Please change it.
A few years ago.
Remember the video that I talked about that had a Shadman art in the thumbnail and I changed it?
Yeah.
And people kept saying that, no, I don't believe you that you changed the thumbnail back 3 years ago. You probably just changed it right now. Game of Thrones memes are fucked up. Last updated thumbnail, 11/24/2020. This
Whoa.
He asked him for a collaboration where Nux's excuse was that he was going to make fun of him.
People are making this as some sort of, I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become friends with Shadman, this monster. Which is fucking stupid if you know my content at all. I troll confront people when I collab the
I troll and confront people all the time, dude. I don't have good interactions with any of them.
same way you do, talking to Keemstar, on Lolicon. And if you watch my videos, you know that. I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reasons.
And at one point he even had direct contact with Shadman, where multiple videos resurfaced of him talking about the DMs.
I'm trying to make is, yes, I did get DM'd by Shadman every once in a while, back in the day, rarely. I would just wake up out of the blue and boom, I'd have a Shadman DM, and I would literally make fun of him for those DMs later. Man.
Crazy, dude.
That's a weird, yeah. And,
That's a way to start a sentence.
That's a way to start a sentence. And he has some interesting takes on God of War.
He can keep them. I don't think I need to hear them.
Yeah, they're weird. Dude, honestly, it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. Like, through DMs. I didn't speak to him, like, voice, but it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had.
And even
It sounds like you had a nice, pleasant conversation that just got a little weird with the guy. Okay.
one video where he says he doesn't want to get him in trouble.
Shadman once, it was the weirdest interaction of my life. Like, that dude, let me actually open up the DMs. Let me see if I can find anything funny he said. Oh my god, I can't even read you most of this. I can't even, oh my god, I literally can't read any of this to you. I really want to show them to you, but I don't want to, like, show you anything that I can't reveal. Like, I don't want to actually get him in trouble. It's just, like, yeah.
But Nux clarifies
What the fuck? What?
he never knew about the Keemstar Shadman thing. Now it's been...
Yeah, I doubt it. Listen, man, this guy used to be friends with Shadman, it seemingly, to the point he didn't want to get him in trouble by leaking the information that Shadman was messaging him, whatever memes or whatever. And now he's done with most people that are somewhat close to CP do, and they go conservative, right? You know, you got your Andrew Tates, just stuff like that. So that's where the comfortableness is in the right-leaning anti-woke community. Like, that's where you're comfortable. If you have done some really weird, creepy shit before, go grift for the right. Nux Taku, Asmongold, I'm not saying he did anything creepy. That other weird lolly person. What's that person here? Revis here. For some reason, they're acceptable. Okay, these weird fucking social rejects, all acceptable in the in the conservative community. Nobody really disavows them or calls them out. It's just that CP to conservative pipeline. Well, so it's a beautiful thing, man. Get your grift gone, baby. Yeah, Russell Brand's another one too. That guy's a fucking creep. They should send me a hat though. H3 should send me a hat, Joe.
Clear if Nux was ever going to actually roast Shadman if he did a video with him, or if he truly didn't know about what Shadman was doing. But the fact he had direct contact with someone like Shadman, many still viewed as incriminating, even though in his own words he was just making fun of him. In his response he also said he regrets a lot of his previous content and the involvement of Lolly in them, and he has always been against Lolly.
It wasn't a review of Lolicon. That's obviously bad faith. Probably one of the most bad faith ways to twist what actually happened I've ever heard. Now,
all you really have to say is it's bad faith and wrong, and if you're a conservative, people believe you.
Said in the past, and I'll say it again, I do regret making a lot of those old videos.
Why? If they weren't you reviewing porn, Lolicon porn, why do you care?
I've literally always been against the lolly. I made old videos where I found like crazy hentai, and I showed them to people for shock value.
So you're admitting you guys were looking at it. It's fine if you were admitting that you look at it for shock value, but okay.
These hentai videos are on YouTube also. And I reacted to a YouTube video being like, this is crazy that this came out of Japan and is literally on YouTube. So anyway, it was a little wild. I invited a lot of people to the call. Obviously, no one thought it was weird. People had eyeballs. I mean, everyone thought that the content was weird.
A lot of this controversy just boils down to Nux saying he hated something, but he was involving it in his content and was actively showing it to people. And he also shouldn't have had ties with someone making terrible NSFW art, even if he was going to make fun of him. Now, this is where the controversy stood for some time. But then the post-Nux clarity hit for Mutahar, a few months later, which, to give him credit, is a good title. But Mutahar made a video basically saying he was distancing himself from Nux.
And then he took the video down like a fucking cringe lord. Either don't put it up or put it up and leave it, you know what I'm saying?
Due to some feedback he got from Reddit.
But to go back to it, Nux Taku is a former collaborator, a former friend of mine, and I mean really a former friend of mine.
Damn.
Because some of the stuff that I've seen over here is disgusting enough that I really can't continue a
But he did make some of these videos with him, so...
friendship, and I really can't, like, again, excuse some of my behavior watching some of this content.
He said they had no more business relations and they were no longer friends due to things like the Taiga situation, the Shadman situation, and the Lolly involvement, which he had some
Well, it's now that people are giving him pushback, you know?
part in and showed remorse for it.
Or then.
In this situation, I just wanted to provide you the context of all
Thanks,
of this,
bro.
right?
Appreciate
This wasn't us sitting together watching Loli, just on, like, the off time. This is a collaboration for one of Nux's main channel videos. And at the time, really nobody thought about it. But we should have. It really did blindside me. There was a bias, call it, friendship bias, call it...
Yes, this is why Mutahar and Mr. Lips are no longer friends. Yes, that's true. Yes.
There was other creators working on it, but really it was something that I was putting up a blind spot to, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I really shouldn't have done that collaboration, and I really shouldn't have watched that content, and if any way contributed to normalizing it.
And he went on to say he didn't know about Nux's content and he was naive to some of the things he took part in.
Wait, you showed more in those videos?
But in this video, he was basically taking accountability for his involvement, but then deleted the video, citing he was overreacting and he apologized to Nux, and they are still friends.
Muta deleted his video, posted a community post, and then called me, and apologized.
Many thought this was disingenuous of Mutahar taking accountability then walking it back, and he did receive a lot of flack for this, many citing that wearing the Christian medallion was giving off some gamma radiation and probably skewed his judgment due to this. And
apparently there's a curse if you wear that thing.
And he said he was just throwing Nux under the bus, who was supposedly his friend, so he didn't have to deal with the Reddit hate. Mutahar probably should have thought a lot more about this before making the video, but the two of them made up anyway apparently. But the
That's so nice, especially since Nux is a fucking loser, grifter, piece of dog shit.
fallout of this video was a lot of the previous stuff being brought up again against Nux, and other people like Chud Logic were
The guy!
affected when they were told contradicting things by Mutahar and reported on it.
My boots have been pissed on, and I've been told that it's raining, right? It is 100% without question that Mutahar did say to me, okay, he did say to me that it was ending because of Nux Taku and the Shadman connection, and then later changed that.
But overall, a lot of content creators
Right, he's talking about the podcast ending, true.
for the post-Nux Clarity video and after did start to distance themselves from Nux.
I love me some chaos now and again, but it was a pretty rough moment there.
So in conclusion, does Nux deserve the reputation of the most hated VTuber?
Well, you kind of skipped past the whole political arc there, which I'm a little disappointed in, because that's like the main issue with Nux at this point, is that he hard guzzles fucking MAGA cum.
Looking at all the controversies, he tried to do the right thing with the VShojo situation, and the Jaiden Animations thing was just kind of a joke, but due to his own actions like contradicting himself at times or going back on what he says and taking no accountability, except for sometimes years later, it has led to a lot of people hating him. So yes, he does somewhat deserve that title, mostly due to his past controversies and the public perception of him. But in the present, I predict we probably won't see any more dramas from Nux.
What?
I'm probably wrong. Nowadays, dude is just reacting to politics and Adventure Time, and yes, he does get a lot of hate for his political takes, but I'm in no way political, or have any knowledge on politics. But yeah, that's all I want to say, and bye-bye.
That's fair. It's fair enough to throw your hat in the ring if you don't know anything about it. Alright, fair enough. Cool video.